The verse for today is to train your mind to return to truth. Train your mind to return to truth. The verse for today is you will keep in perfect peace. You will keep in perfect peace. Isaiah 26:3 says, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. God, help my mind to learn where to return when it starts to wonder. Where do I go back to? What do I when I'm starting to drift, or I'm starting to have distractions, and I'm starting to wander off? Where do I return to reset? The truth is, the goal is not to never have wondering, to never have anxiousness, to never have negative thoughts, because that would be silly to think that those things are not going to happen. But the goal here is to train your mind where to return. Peace grows when the mind learns a trustworthy path home. We haven't talked about that a lot. We talked about what do we think and how do we reset our mind and how does our mind work. But we haven't really talked about, okay, so what spot do I go back to? Why do I wake up in the morning? Like that's one thing that I guess every single day as we do this is our body and our mind gets to reset itself every single morning when we go get up. Right? A person still has stressful thoughts. You know, if you were to think that you're not going to have stress, then that's, something that's not going to, that is never going to happen. So don't think you're going to get to a place where you'll never be stressed, where you'll never need to breathe, where you'll never need to reset. But instead of spiraling, they now return more quickly to prayer, scripture, breathing, and truth. As we set these habits every single day, as we set our routine every single day, we have a place to go back to begin anew. When those thoughts come up and we start to stretch and we go, okay, wait a minute, let me reset, let me breathe. Let me take that emotion, because we've been talking about that every day for the last almost 7 or 8 days, right? And bring that emotion down so that intelligence can come up. What do we do to get that there? Because that's the key, I think, because we know things are going to happen. How do we not I've been talking about not reacting. So as soon as we stop reacting, where do we reset to begin anew? And I think, being able just to say, I'm going to get up and do these things, right? One of the biggest changes in my life didn't come because I stopped having hard thoughts. It came because I learned how to return. Return to truth, return to prayer, return to what God said. And ultimately that returns to peace. I used to think that maturity meant never struggling mentally. Like, hey, I'm going to get to this someday where it's always going to be easy. But what I know is that's not what it is. But what I have learned is that maturity often looks like faster recovery, quicker awareness, and shorter spiritual, or a shorter spiral. Okay, not spiritual, a shorter spiral. We think about when we spiral down and when we spiral, we just jump to, we say go to 100, right? Okay, so how about going to 100 and only being at 100 for 30 seconds or for 2 minutes instead of for a half a day? Sometimes we get so into ourselves and so upset with folks or other people or how things have gone that we take a week, we take 2 weeks, we take so long to get back to being able to work with others, to be able to serve others, to be able to be okay with ourselves. So what happened is that encouraged me deeply, because it means growth is not measured by never getting pulled away. It's also measured by how well you know the road back. Over time, I've trained my mind to come home faster, and that has changed everything. There are days that I will admit that there are days where you just go, what's going on, God? I need your help. And ask him for that. But then resetting every single morning. What our mind does is the brain changes not only through intense moments, but through recovery patterns. And mental resilience is built when the mind learns how to return from distraction, fear, or stress back to steadiness. So what is that even playing field that you go back to all the time? Where is that at in your whole manageable? And you can, sometimes if you've ever had children, the coolest part about sometimes when they go there is they go there so quick, but they come back so quick. Like they'll yell at each other, friends will yell at each other, and 5 minutes later, they're back friends. Whether when you think about genders and you think about boys and girls and how they react and how, at least little ones, it seems like the boys have figured out, like, hey, we can get in a fight, we can be upset, but we can return to where we were so quickly. Where it seems like girls sometimes hold a little grudge a little bit longer. I don't know what that's all about or why that happens, but it's something that if you're cognizant of, you can get back faster. This strengthens regulation networks and builds confidence that hard thoughts are manageable. We actually start realizing that, hey, once we do this over and over and over again, that we can manage this. It doesn't have to be this way. It's not final. In many ways, emotional strength is less about never being disrupted and more about becoming better at returning to balance. That's why breathing is so important. That's why if you're able to do yoga at night and just be able to calm your mind, calm yourself, to listen to what's going on, to hear God's purpose. Some people talk to me about yoga and they go, well, isn't this yoga this thing that's out there? And what I say is yoga is just a way that you calm your body, and whatever, that might, if you're into what the religion part of yoga is, then it can be a huge distraction. But if you're into using God and talking to God and prayerful through those movements and those moments, there can be so much learned from it. So the heart connection is peace is not just found in staying centered. It is also found in learning how to come back. Peace is not just found in staying centered. It is also found in learning how to come back. Where does your mind need to return to when it drifts? Practice. Choose your return path today. One verse, one prayer, one breath, one pattern, one truth, one statement. What is your return path? For me, it's a lot of the affirmations that we do. I'm grounded. Everything works out for me because I refuse to be distracted and to drift. Everything works out for me because that is the person that I have become, coming back to. Right? Short prayer. Father, train my mind to return to truth quickly and often. Let peace become my pathway. May your mind grow steadier, your recovery grow quicker, and your peace grow deeper with every return. Maybe today you can retract, or the next time that you go into that emotional, kind of track where you return to and see if it's where you want to be. And in our questions for today, do you think growth is more about perfection or learning how to return? Wow, we know we're not perfect. We are consistent. And then learning how to return to where we want to go even becomes more important. What helps your mind come back to peace? Now that's the other part of it. So what is it? Is it taking 5 short breaths? What for you helps you return back to peace? And why is recovery so important in this strength of coming back?